Hey everyone, and welcome to this explainer. I am absolutely thrilled to have you here today. We are breaking down the incredibly high-stakes drama of the FIFA World Cup 2026 knockout stage. If you've been following the tournament, and I'm sure you have, you know it's been a total roller coaster so far. So today, we're going to look at the data, the fixtures, and the overall picture to map out exactly where we stand as this tournament shifts into its most unforgiving gear. Let's get right into it. Here's the absolute only number that matters right now: 16. Out of all the nations that started this journey, only 16 teams are left standing in this brutal quest for ultimate glory. You know, there are no more second chances here. No more group stage safety nets to catch you if you fall. From here on out, it is literally win or go home. It's do or die. And getting down to this final 16, well, that was anything but simple.
Okay, let's dive into this. Section 1, the round of 32 finale. So we had two very different paths to the round of 16 playing out at the very end here. On one side, you've got Colombia. They became the final team to book their ticket with this incredibly clean, highly professional 1-0 victory over Ghana. They completely controlled their destiny, got the job done, and moved on. But man, you've got to contrast that smooth advancement with Argentina. Facing Cape Verde, what looked like a pretty routine win on paper turned into an absolute chaotic thriller. It ended in a massive 3-2 extra time scare for the South Americans.
Actually, there's a brilliant quote that really hits the nail on the head regarding the mindset you need to survive knockout football. After the match, superstar Lionel Messi posted on Instagram that his team knew how to suffer. And wow, suffer they definitely did. While Messi did find the back of the net again in that match, his impact was almost overshadowed by Cape Verde's insanely spirited comeback. I mean, Cape Verde pushed Argentina to the absolute limit, forcing extra time before finally falling 3-2. It's just a classic story of survival, right? It doesn't have to be pretty, you just have to stay alive.
Moving right along. Section 2, the qualified 16.
All right, so here is the first half of our surviving field. Just look at the unbelievable drama in the middle of this pack. Both Paraguay and Morocco had to survive these absolutely grueling penalty shootouts just to eliminate heavyweights like Germany and the Netherlands. Can you imagine the pressure? Meanwhile, France, they just cruised right on through with a 3-0 sweep over Sweden. And then you have Canada, Brazil, Norway, Mexico, and England. They all had to battle through some seriously tight regulation victories to lock in their spots.
Then, flipping over to the other side of the bracket, the powerhouses definitely took care of business. Spain, the USA, and Switzerland all secured really impressive clean sheet victories, while Belgium and Portugal survived some much tighter tests. And oh man, we absolutely cannot forget Egypt. They survived a totally nerve-wracking shootout against Australia, and now they've set up a blockbuster date with Messi's Argentina. The stage is literally set for some truly incredible showdowns this week.
So get your calendars ready. Section 3, round of 16 schedule and matchups. We are kicking off the round of 16 action on Saturday, July 4th at 10:30 p.m. Indian Standard Time, with Canada taking on the Giant Slayers, Morocco, down at the Houston Stadium. Then, just a few hours later, rolling right into Sunday, July 5th at 2:30 a.m., Paraguay, who are fresh off that wild penalty shootout win over Germany, are going to try to pull off another massive upset against a totally dominant French side up at the Philadelphia Stadium. Continuing chronologically into Monday, July 6th, we're in for a phenomenal morning of football. At 1:30 a.m. IST, the sheer flair of Brazil meets the power of Norway over in New Jersey. Then, at 5:30 a.m., the atmosphere is going to be electric. Mexico is essentially playing a home game against England at the Mexico City Stadium. The crowd noise for that one is going to be absolutely deafening, for sure. And believe it or not, the schedule actually gets even more packed on Tuesday, July 7th, with 3 huge fixtures. It all starts with a massive Iberian derby, Portugal versus Spain, at 12:30 a.m. IST down in Dallas. Following that, the USA takes on Belgium in Seattle at 5:30 a.m. Later that evening, all eyes shift over to Atlanta as Argentina faces Egypt at 9:30 p.m. Finally, the whole round wraps up on Wednesday, July 8th, when Switzerland meets Colombia in Vancouver at 1:30 a.m. Let's look at the numbers behind the madness. Section 4, Tournament Statistical Leaders. Now, what's really interesting here is the incredibly tight, superstar-driven race we have for the Golden Boot. After 4 matches played, Lionel Messi is leading the entire tournament with 7 goals. But breathing right down his neck is France's Kylian Mbappe with 6, and England's Harry Kane is rounding out the top 3 with 5. These guys are the lethal finishers who can literally decide a knockout match in a split second, and their current form is just absolutely critical to their team's survival.
But you know, while individuals win awards, teams win championships. And this number, 13, brilliantly illustrates exactly why France is such a terrifying opponent to face right now. The French offensive machine actually leads the entire tournament in team scoring. They put up a staggering 13 goals in just 4 matches, and get this, they've only conceded 2. They also lead the whole tournament with 12 team assists. They are just clicking on all cylinders, which makes them a colossal hurdle for Paraguay or really anyone else in their path.
So, we've seen the grinding survival, the penalty shootout heroics, this incredibly loaded bracket, and some jaw-dropping statistics. With Messi leading the offensive pack, historical heavyweights on a total collision course, and underdogs constantly proving they can topple giants, the ultimate question remains. Who actually has the perfect mix of skill, strategy, and that sheer ability to suffer through the knockout stages to finally lift the 2026 World Cup? It's going to be a spectacular watch. Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer.